All right, welcome back. Jason Hart's podcast, taping this on a Wednesday evening. Jason Hart is here of the G League Ignite. Jason, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. What does the summer look like for you? Are you taking a break a little bit? What is it like just in a day in the life of the G League Ignite head coach at this moment?
Well, this is our first year where we had a summer off season.
Mm-hmm.
In our 3-year history, this is our first year we had a summer off season. So we had 2 guys remaining on the team from last year, London Johnson and Babacar Sane.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave our guys, those 2 guys, April off, and then we started our off-season program May, June.
Okay.
So now we welcome guys, Matas, Cherry, Ron Hollins, Tyler Smith, and our regular guys. And so we're just starting work. We've been working for going on a month and a half, and then we'll finish up strong in June, and then we'll kick it back in August.
There you go. I like it. First question, what is your favorite part about coaching the G League Ignite? What's your favorite part?
Watching these young men chase their dreams, and then when they finally happen, you was a small part in helping them achieve that, and just watching them go through the grind of trying to obtain that dream, and then holding them accountable as every step of the way. So that's the beautiful part is watching them chase their dreams, and then when it happens, that's rewarding.
What was the biggest adjustment you made from your first day coaching the G League Ignite to now?
Just learning the league, learning how the league operates, learning your do's and don'ts, and just learning how to deal with young men on a professional level. I was in college for some time, and so college is more a dictatorship. Here, teaching the young men when they have a problem, come see me, come talk to me. So you teach them to be a self-advocate and ask questions and get the answers too.
What's the hardest part about I'm curious because you have just different guys each and every year. How fluid do you have to be, and how open do you have to be to really keep your offense and what you want to do schematically year to year? How much does that change?
Yeah, I have to be very open because the program is not about Jason Hart, my system. It's about helping Matas become a top 5 pick, or helping Cherry understand American basketball. So I have to be flexible, and then I have to build systems year after year that fits my personnel. So they can look their best while being judged by NBA general managers.
What was the biggest adjustment schematically this year you made with Scoot and company?
Scoot was real easy because he was in our program for 2 years. But learning the offense and having guys do more without the ball. We try to get our players ready for the NBA. Scoot's a talent. He's going to have the ball in his hand from day one. But teaching everybody how to cut, move, play without the basketball. So when they do get to the NBA, they're equipped with not having the ball in their hands so much, and they're able to fit in right away.
Is that something where you're like, oh, thank goodness the Denver Nuggets just won the title, because just cut after cut from Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, whoever, if you were open on a cut, Jokic was going to find you. And it seems like that's just another way for guys to stick and to play, like the Bruce Browns of the world and everybody else, right?
Well, Miami ran the same offense, just had personnel. And then the champion last year was Golden State. So that's kind of where the game is heading. It's really 5 players that can all pass, dribble, and shoot. But if you're cutting and moving, it's hard to guard that. And that's what keep, I don't want to call them role players, but the other players, that keeps them involved because now they're threats on each possession.
John Jenkins on the roster. John Jenkins, I'm a Hawks guy. I'm from Atlanta. John Jenkins, sharpshooter at Vanderbilt, always been able to get shots up. Nearing 32 now as a player. What did he bring to the locker room, and what you were trying to do each and every day? Did you lean on him a lot? How did that work?
Yeah, I leaned on him a lot, maybe too much in terms of his scoring and his shooting. But what he brought to my team, and I have a young bunch, he brought professionalism, his everyday actions and working on his craft to become better. Guys watch, and that doesn't go unnoticed. And so he allowed me to use him as an example a lot on how to stay in the gym, how to get your body right, mind right, so you can be at your best. And we look forward to having John back this year as well.
Do you think he's a future coach?
I mean, it's something that he can definitely do. I
Mm,
think he understands the game, his knowledge. And then you're dealing with young guys. You know, you have to
mm,
bring them along. A lot of times, we try to get veterans that's willing to help and bring along.
mm.
And so I thought he did a really good job of that. Either you can coach or you can go in the front office like Pooh Jeter. So it's whatever world he wants to venture into, I think he'd be successful.
What do you think makes Leonard Miller so intriguing long term for NBA teams?
Well, he's 16 and a half.
Mm,
He's a big forward wing. He uses his length and his intangibles really well, and he's just starting to understand the game. So I think
mm,
that with the size and his ability to play five as well, it's going to be very intriguing to teams because he has so much untapped potential, and
mm.
he's a hard worker. So I think teams are starting to recognize and see that he's a talented player.
When you look at him or forecast like 10 years from now, what do you think his best NBA skill is?
It's going to be rebounding.
Hmm.
It's going to be rebounding. He's a really good rebounder. He averaged about 12 for me this year, being so young, playing against pros. And, you know, his ceiling is Lamar Odom. I think they're the same size, same feel. If you study his game, you watch Lamar. Lamar was never a big scorer in the NBA, maybe 14, 13, 14. So I think Leonard, same size, same left hand. I think they have a lot of the same attributes.
Same vision? Because Lamar was he was a great passer too.
Yeah, if you watch Leonard in high school, if you YouTube him, Leonard in high school, he played the point guard. So this was his first year playing forward when he got to me at Ignite. And just the way he was able to adapt and adjust to a new position in 6 months, that showed me that once he's continued to learn his true position of forward, he's going to take off even more.
I like it. Scoot Henderson will be a superstar in the NBA for what reason?
His work ethic and his dedication to his craft. I think he has a tremendous level of focus, leadership, and he's not a follower. I think those are the things you need to become a superstar in this NBA for multiple years. And then you got to work like you're not that good of a player, and that's how his work ethic is. He works like he's the last sub on the team, and that's going to get him to where he's trying to go.
Who does he remind you of? I mean, you got Leonard Miller reminding you of Lamar Odom. Who is it for Scoot?
Well, you know, we've been having him for 2 years in the program. Early, it was Derrick Rose, obviously, because he's very explosive. But the more he's starting to mature in his game and understand, and his vision is growing, it's more like a Jason Kidd. If you study young Jason Kidd, dynamic in the open court, rebound, push, make really good passes. So to me, he's morphing into more J Kidd now.
So someone said they're worried he might be score first more than pass first. You're not as worried about that.
Well, every point guard in the NBA score first.
Yeah.
So I mean, they got to tell me which one is not.
That's
and
true.
Even when Chris Paul was passing, he still was averaging 18, 19. So every guard in the NBA, from Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, to Kyrie, to Luka, Trae Young, Rick Brunson from New York, every last one is scored point guard. So he fits what the NBA is looking for. Score first point guards. Ja Morant, same thing. Score first point guards.
What's the ideal backcourt mate for him to kind of maximize his development early on? Who do you think is the right kind of player to kind of share the backcourt with him?
That's a really good question. I just think that he can adjust and adapt to any situation he's drafted in. I don't want to put words in my mouth, but he's so adaptable and willing to learn and understand and grow that I think you can put him in any situation. Obviously, him on the ball and making plays for his teammates is where he thrives in. But he played in the backcourt with a guy named Dyson Daniels, too, as well, the year prior. And so he played off the ball a lot. So he can do whatever his team needs for the team to be successful.
Every team just needs like a Gary Harris. Every team, just the 3-and-D, every young guard could just benefit from guys like that to just make life easier. Because, I mean, you obviously playing in the NBA and have been around the game for so long, Jason, that I'm curious because one of the common cliches that folks will throw around is that hey, point guard is the hardest position to come into in the NBA. You have to let guys fail. Steph Curry had to have all the turnovers early on in Golden State. He had to figure stuff out, and it was just hard. Jason Kidd wasn't great right away. It's the hardest position to come in, and you have to let guys fail. Why do you think that is, or do you even believe that that's still the case?
Yeah, I think that's the case with lottery picks. I mean, you draft them so high, and they're 19 years old. They're not going to have it. They're not going to have it right away. It was only one 20-year-old that did that. That was Magic Johnson, right? Won the championship. Other than that, if you look at every player from Luka to Joker to Embiid. It's a process.
Mm.
But I think that the up that Scoot has, he's been playing professional basketball for 2 years already. And so this is his third year professional. And so as far as the terminology, understanding what's going on the court, he kind of seen it. And now it's just going to be able to adapt with the high level talent, which I think he's up for that challenge.
So if I were to show you a lot of different scouting reports and draft guides of Scoot at this point, having coached and been around him for 2 years, what do you think is the most overlooked asset to his game that's going to be a really, really great thing for the team that drafts him to have?
His character. He's a good dude. I mean, you got to think Scoot could have shot the ball every single time and nobody would have said nothing, but that wasn't the right thing to do. And for him being that way, his teammates loved him. So I just think his character, who he is as a person, and his willingness to be selfless in the locker room, I think that's going to resonate once he gets to an NBA locker room, and everybody liked him. Analytics don't tell that part. He's a good person as well. So those are the things that will help him be a leader early. And I think when he steps into that locker room, he'll be ready to go.
I like it. With so many eyes being on the game against the Metropolitan 92s from a couple months, what was that like for you? Was it a really just kind of crazy environment for you to be in, to coach in? What was that whole day like for you?
Well, just for the team, not just me in general. It was just a blessing that we can be playing in front of a bunch of NBA scouts first and foremost. And then with Scoot playing really well and we getting that victory, I think it goes, a lot of people, I know Victor's more than likely to go number one, but Scoot outplayed him that day. It's not a secret. Yeah. I'm not shying away from that. We won the game. So, I thought that was good for our team, for our program. And then it showed the world that with all the hype, our young guys can deliver. And that's what I was most proud of.
What did you see on tape when you were studying Victor and just kind of preparing for that game? What did you see that was like, I think we can deal with this. I think this is something that we can he's not there yet, that we can attack. What did you see with Victor at this point?
Well, when you're watching those tapes, it's early in their year. You play 3 or 4 games, so you can watch it. But until you play against him and see how tall he is, you never can really prepare for that length. You prepare for 6'11", 7-footers, but he's 7'5" with real guard skill. So we prepared the best way we can, but he's a talent, and talented players are always going to find their way to success.
Have you ever seen a player like Victor?
Yeah, I have. Bobo. They have a lot of similar skill sets. Bobo obviously went to Oregon, got hurt, drafted. So he's not given the same freedom. But he was
good in Orlando this year. He had some freedom finally. Yeah,
he really did. So you watch him, you paying attention. Yes. But Bobo is not as tall. He's about 7'2", but he has the same skill set. This kid just has a little bit better guard skills. But Bobo, in my eyes, had the similar skill sets.
Yeah, it's funny when you're watching Orlando too. Like Markelle was something when I was watching Scoot and just looking at just different comps. And like early Markelle, like UW Markelle was just such an explosive, fun player. And one of the things that I still love watching Markelle this year, and he's just a great story and just really found a role in this league that I think he'll be able to keep playing for a long time, is he's so good in mid-range. He keeps the game at his pace. He's slow, and he's going to play at his pace, but he's still gifted passer and finds his way around the rim. That just it's really unique. He's a really unique player at this point. And with Scoot, he has that unique floater. And it's just, when you first saw that, you're like, oh, this is just like one of the weirdly super efficient shots that I guess we're just going to have to live with, because you're just really, really good at this thing that not a lot of guys are good at.
Well, if you look at Hall of Fame point guards, everyone have it. I mean, Tony Parker is probably the best. Yeah. And a guard, you're going to constantly get by your man and get to that paint. You can't get all the way to the rim, so you have to have in-between shots. And that's a good thing to have, because that keeps you out of foul trouble, but also keeps the defense at bay to what you want to do.
What's been the most rewarding part of coaching the G League Ignite through 2 years for you?
I'm just growing as a coach. I think, obviously being in college for 9 years as an assistant, then to the pro level, I think is a process and steps for me. And I'm enjoying being able to learn the NBA game, learn the nuances, and then more importantly, learning how to deal with young men with anxiety and pressure to feed their family. So I think that helps me become a better person because I have to understand what they're going through, and it also allows an environment of healthy relationships because we're all trying to accomplish something. So that's been the best thing for me.
Do you think it's in a better place as a whole for players than it was when you were playing?
Well, the game has always has been in a great place. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got different eras of the NBA, so no matter what we say, this era, that era,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the NBA and you're playing, your era is one of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the game will continue to grow. It's going to continue to get better. Guys will continue to make more money, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to always leave the game in a good place because you can't stay here forever. And
Yeah.
so, you enjoy your time here, you do your best, you work your hardest, and you move on and leave it for the next group.
If you were put in charge of the next big thing in the NBA or just in basketball in general, that you were just like, hey, this is something I would like to emphasize or see where the game could go here, what would it be for you? What would you do that you've always been kind of interested in evolving the game? Is there anything in particular you would like to expand and do?
Well, I was, being a early 2000 NBA basketball player, I would like to see a team come back to Seattle, and then I would also want to see a team come to Vegas. I know
Okay.
you got, so that'd be me wishful thinking, but I think that adding two teams with major fan bases like Seattle has already built in, and then Vegas is turning into, the city to live in. So I just think I'm a wishful thinker. I hope they do that if I was in charge.
Do you think we see a 4-point shot in the next 10 years?
You never know. I think you probably. I don't want to. I can see the possibilities, but because you would have people taking heave shots for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the playoffs. The games in the fourth quarter was 89-84, low scoring.
Yeah.
So while we always talk about all this 3-point shooting, it wasn't bombs away in the finals. It was, let's get a good shot. If it's a 2-pointer, we'll take it. And so that's real basketball, and the analytics was out the window in the finals.
Yeah. Andy Enfield, you coach with him obviously for a long time at USC. What was the biggest lesson you learned from him?
You know what? He taught me how to be prepared. He was always prepared. His teams are always ready to play, and he was a leader of men. I think he showed me how to turn the program around, and so that was something to watch. And then obviously being able to have sustained success. You don't do that. That's just not a fluke. He understands the landscape, and he taught me a lot, and I was grateful for my 8 years there.
Do you think he's ready for Bronny?
Yeah.
Can anyone be ready for LeBron to be looking over your shoulder and be like, hey, what are we doing here? Like,
well, LeBron, if you see, I'm from LA, so I've seen Bronny since he was a freshman at Sierra Canyon. I mean, I think LeBron knows it's a process, the dad, and so I don't think at this stage of his career he's going to have to do that. He understands this. His son got a scholarship, and he was very excited about that. So I don't think he's putting that pressure on his kids they got to make it like he did. He wants them to go through life and enjoy it and have a great time and a great experience.
If Bryce ends up at the G League Ignite, are you looking forward to that challenge? Are you opening the door? Are you ready for
it? Yeah, definitely. I would love to coach Bryce. I'm going to recruit the heck out of Bryce. I'm going to recruit the heck out of Carmelo Anthony's son.
Yeah.
Why not? I want both of them. Two legends sons playing for Ignite. I'm definitely interested in that.
Well, there you go. You also have Sharif. How was that this year?
Coach Sharif was good. I recruited Sharif when he came out of high school, and he chose Arizona instead of USC. But it was a great experience to coach him. I finally got my chance to coach him. I've been trying for many years. I thought he opened a lot of eyes. People got to see his ability, his talent. Now it's on him to kind of capitalize on the momentum that he have and take it to the next level.
There you go. Coach, what can the good folks do to check out what you've got going on this summer? I know you got practice and camps going on here in June. When is the next time that folks can see you in the Ignite this summer?
Yeah, so early in September, we're going to be playing a EuroLeague team or Australian team here in Vegas. It's going to be 2 games. I don't know the exact dates, but it'll be somewhere the first or second week of September. So we just look forward to fans that coming out, watching our new young talent, and then get a chance to see how the program works and how it operates.
There you go. Well, I wish you nothing but the best, Coach. It was great talking ball with you, and it's a fun program, and I love seeing it. And I'm excited to see where guys like Leonard and Scoot end up next week. I can't believe the NBA draft's already here, but it's going to be a good day for you, and you're doing a great job with the Ignite, and nothing but the best. And we'll have to talk again soon.
Thank you, brother. See you soon.
Thanks, Jason.
Well done, nephew. Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.